Hello, welcome to the Pursuit of the Truth. It's still the 23rd of April 2018. Another quick one, just two little things. One, I was watching Beyond the Imaginary Curve on YouTube, on the original channel that Dell's back on, and it was porn bombed, which is when someone comes into the Google Hangout, which is being broadcast live on YouTube, and they, show pornography in the attempt to get the channel a strike. And it's interesting how YouTube, they must see the footage. I mean, surely, how does that work out? Is it someone has to complain about it, or is it maybe it's the same people that put it on then complain about it, then they see that it's there, and then just, because he got a strike previously for 4 months, and it's not the only time that this has happened. This happens quite a lot. Sometimes because of copyright infringements. But the strange thing is, like, I think Des from Sheeps and Neeps got this problem where he was showing, I think it was Brian Cox on Newsnight or a BBC thing, or I'm not sure which one it was. And he got a strike for that on his Sheeps and Neeps channel. Now he's got the live one, because he showed something that was actually on YouTube. So that's really weird, isn't it? How is that copyright infringement? You're playing something that has already been shared on YouTube. It's not like you're sharing it on a different site. You're actually sharing the same thing. I mean, you could just, I suppose, like, you could just say, all right, I'm going to talk about this thing, and here's the link of where it is on YouTube. That would be okay, isn't it? So what is it is it because he's talking against it? Is that why whoever raised the strike, I assume it was the BBC or Brian Cox or whoever made that piece of production? But it makes no sense when it's actually on that site and you're saying that no, you can't share the same thing. It's not like you're going to overtake the amount of views it's ever going to get. Come on. And I don't understand why fair use doesn't, get brought into that. It's just, he was just doing it to analyse it. And everyone, isn't they allowed their own opinion? So, but it's interesting how YouTube, they don't seem to, I mean, in that case, okay, you could argue, yeah, it is copyright infringement. It should have just just given the link, and then, but the problem is you want to play it and speak, like I do, like with Sky News. I will play a bit and then I'll talk about it, because, well, that's like how the media works anyway, isn't it? When they talk about a film or when they talk about an event, they play something and then they talk about it. So I don't understand why they're allowed to do it, but we're not. Especially when these things are coming from public broadcasters, which we actually pay for and are meant for us. But anyway, what I was saying, like with Dell's Beyond the Imaginary Curve, is that they will see, I don't know how it works, maybe someone complains about it, but I'm sure that YouTube, they have to then check to actually make sure that it did actually happen. So when they see that it was a hangout, how is it Dell's responsibility when someone else comes into it and puts on pornography when it wasn't asked? Why isn't it the person who put the pornography on? Why isn't their channel the one that gets the strike? It's really weird. It wouldn't work in any other kind of, I mean, like, I'm trying to think of an analogy. If I had a house and I'm having a party and someone comes in with a gun and shoots someone, I'm responsible for that. No, that wouldn't be the case, would it? The person who shot someone would be responsible for that. I suppose you could level some responsibility on me because, I'm arranging an event and I'm liable for that, but come on, not really. So I don't understand how YouTube aren't really investigating that better, that they really should be punishing the person who's committing the crime, not the one who's having, it's not his responsibility. Okay, then you could, if it is Dell's responsibility Beyond the Imaginary Curve and he get the strike for it, then also that means it's YouTube's responsibility, and they should get a strike for allowing pornography, hardcore pornography, on their site, because Dell's hosting a thing on their site. So if you're going to do it like that, then surely then I can phone someone and complain about them and have them charged and then have them a strike so they can't be on the internet. Of course not. And the other thing I want to talk about was Thames Water. So apparently I got a letter, well not apparently, that's another thing I was going to say, apparently we're running out of water, but I stopped and changed the sentence. Yeah, I got a letter from Thames Water saying that because of the water problems in London, you know, that now by law we can put the meters in, and I know these meters are always going to be better for them, they're never going to do something that's better for us. It'll all be, you know, I know when when they do these calculations, because they say, you know, it should be cheaper for you because you can manage your water, what they really mean is like, you're going to have to do that because otherwise you're going to be paying more. Obviously that's what's going to happen. So it's a way of forcing you to use less water. And, you know, I know when they do their calculations, I'm pretty sure, well, I don't know, I'm lying really, I don't know, is it? Because I don't know, but what I'm assuming is, when they say, oh, bath costs 80p, they're probably talking about like enough water that covers just your foot. Whereas like most people would bath up to their stomach, isn't it? They won't be doing it like that. They'll be giving you, it's the same like when they say that you can live on £100 a week. And there's no way you can live on £100 a week. You can't even get rent. I mean, that would be like £400 a month, yeah? You find that rent for me. And then there's electricity, gas, water, TV, all these other things. There's no way you can live on £100 a month or whatever the stupid number is. So I'm sure these calculations that they come up with to try and show you, oh yeah, it's going to cost you less, look at this. No, not really, because those calculations are not even true. I'm sure, I mean, if I had time, when I get the meter, I'll start it, run a bath, the normal amount of water that normal people use, and see how much money it does use and whether it matches their 80p or whatever they said it matches. But the fact is that, is there really a water shortage? It's clever how, you know, obviously they want to put these meters in, and this is a clever way of getting around it, because they can say, you know, someone can issue a water problem, and then suddenly that's it, they've got the law to do it, they're allowed to do it now. You can't even say no. And that seems so wrong, because, well, at least like they give you a year to compare, and then you can pick whichever bill that you prefer, but obviously it's a way of just confining you to use less. Which, you know, some people would argue that's a good thing, you know, whatever. But the fact is that it's just like, if there was a way that they could bottle air, my goodness, they would be doing that as well. Or, you know, like how fast you walk. I'm sorry, you're walking too fast, I'm going to fine you for that. Or I'm sorry, you're taking too many breaths now, you're only allowed 100 breaths a day. You know, I'm going to have to charge you more. Oh, no, I'll take 98 next day. We don't realise how absurd it is that natural resources that are meant to be free for all of us, someone rich has taken them over, or someone in the country has taken them over and then selling them back to you. Because like when you think about air, you know, they can't do it because it's around us. It's impossible unless they find a way of doing that. But whereas the water, they can contain that. But it's the same thing. We're being conned. Again, it's another one of those lies in plain sight. Anyway, take care, take it easy, God bless, and peace.